it was huge. I spoke to Al Cleland Jr., who was in the comp, and genuinely he said to me, like, on the first and second day of the comp, he was like, that's Hawaii level power and punch.
Welcome to the Insiders, Autonauts, and feral wasteland creatures. It's the 1st of October, traditionally the best month of surf in Europe. Water's still warm. People still have the sting of summer in their bones and the brown skin that I can see on Matt's back.
It's that's the light. It's, as anyone who knows me, it's red because I sunburn no matter what. But it's a browner red than normal because I've been here a few weeks now, and
like a pinky beige sort of red.
Yeah, and my neck is brown. I've got like a serious like wetsuit or rash top
neck tan
going on. Shout out Need Essentials. Literally only been relying on their 1.5 mil rash top.
So you've been surfing in boardies, warm as toast. You've been
boardies and
warmest September in history.
Yeah, like my literally daily is wake up early doors. I surf in my 2 mil short leg, long arm suit, and then in the day surf boardies with a 1.5 mil rash top, both from Need Essentials, both phenomenal. And yeah, like can't complain. Loving France.
Good on you, Need Essentials.
Yeah. And France.
And good on you, Quiksilver, because I've been frothing on my short arm, long leg. I don't know what you call that. It's a 2-2.
I think that's a spring suit. Is that a spring suit?
No, long leg. I don't know what you call it. It's just one of them. And also, I've been rocking me Echo Beach, multicolored fluoro, panelled black quickie boardies. I just feel like I was in the 80s.
Yeah, I saw you the other day surfing no boardies only, no rash top, nothing like that. So
I've done it about 5 or 6 times this month, and I rarely do it. I haven't done it for 15 years. I got soft.
I want to do that. And then I realized that if I'd done that within 10 minutes, I would look like a lobster and probably have
maybe on the first day, but your skin soon gets used to it.
I've got ginger skin, mate. It's not ideal for me, but
so do I. Well,
I enjoy wearing
light beige.
But how have the waves been? Like, it's just, I feel so blessed. Like,
what's your opinion then of France in autumn?
I mean, it's scary. It's like beautifully scary, which is quite weird because there's certain things that I thought was going to scare me, and I've got used to that. And then there's other things that kind of scare me that I haven't got used to yet. The rips are just as bad as they ever have been.
They're world champion rips.
They are like just pretty annoying rips, but it's kind of like I see the rips as like paying to play. You've got to, and also it kind of does help regulate it. Like if you get some people that aren't great paddlers, then they get found out pretty quickly.
We had Autonauts. We might Matthew and myself at the moment we're like less than 5 kilometers apart, and I'm telling you, I didn't see you this week. We've had two very different weeks, I think, because a couple of times you were asking me, which we'll get to, the comp, and I'll be honest, I didn't see a single heat. I didn't get it near it. By the time I had surfed and then went to work, and a couple of times people asked me, do you want to go down? And I had 3 days in a row where I had 3 or 4 hour sessions. I couldn't face walking down in the sun because it was 30 degrees.
Yeah. So
unreal.
For everyone to know, like we talk about the comp. There was a Quiksilver festival, and it was a comp, and it was we'll dive into the actual comp, but the forecast was all time. And Darren is a general out at Lenore, which is the big wave spot here, and basically where like I was not paddling out in the surf that was here. It was huge. I spoke to Al Cleland Jr., who was in the comp, and genuinely he said to me, like, on the first and second day of the comp, he was like, that's Hawaii level power and punch and like speed of a wave. So I sat on the comfort of the beach. Actually that's a lie. I went and surfed Santosha in the morning, which is it gets smaller, it's protected. But for you, it was all time Lenore, and that was on, and that took priority over the comp, which it should 100%. But
it took priority for a lot of things.
Yeah,
it was a highly stressful week, and let's be honest, Lenore was nothing on what those guys were getting, because it's bigger up. It gets progressively bigger per 50 meters. If you're going from Hossagor walking north to Kunu, which is like 1 kilometer. It can't be too much more, because I ran it the week before when I didn't have a car and I had to get back to the cafe, and I think it took me 15 minutes with my 8.3 under my arm, kind of running, walking. You know, I couldn't do the whole run
from the Gravier, like from Lenore.
Yeah, but like you see it, just it's not. It's actually the waves. Honestly, the waves don't necessarily get that much bigger. They just get further out and longer and hollower and further from the beach. Well, I said that already, further out. So it's just where that's the advantage of, as you come down south there, you can paddle out and you don't have to do that. Like those guys would have not got one, I guess, half of many waves as they got. They were getting jet ski assist out, weren't they?
Yeah, jet ski assist the whole thing. So 100%.
So how was that to watch then?
Oh, it's incredible. Like everything about it. So what was really cool is the first day it was pumping, but not perfect. So on the Monday, so we went down, my good friend Jake, who came down, and basically on the Monday we just watched everyone free surf because they called the comp off, but there was waves, like 100, like everyone was out, but it wasn't like it was messy and a bit all over the shop. And yeah, it was sick. Like, you know, there were some people whose names were in the comp that you were like, okay, they're going to be sick. You know, like, you know what to expect. Like Mikey Wright is world class and been on the world tour and stuff. But like people like CJ Hobgood, I've not seen that much of him surfing, and obviously not seen him surf in person. He is so stylish in the way he surfs. He's so good. Like, obviously, he's a world champ.
World champion.
Yeah. And people say he's world champ, like, and all that. So much style. Clay Marzo is incredible. Really, really good.
So how did you see any of his like backhand tubes where he just does like a kind of does like a front on double foot side saddle?
It's
I don't
like,
know how you explain it. He's incredible.
His footwork. Yeah, so good. He was my standout surfer of the event to watch. Like him,
he won standout of the event.
Yeah, which was really cool as well. There was a few, like I met Keal Walsh, the most chilled, laid back guy ever. Like honestly, and he like was showing up late, or not late, but he was just showing up. Like people were there early to get there and stuff, and he was like rocking up like 10 minutes before his heat, like he just woke up, paddled out, and then just barreled to like huge ramp, like massive air, and you just like, what is going on? Like he was in bed 10 minutes ago. There was such a range of surfers. Like like Adriano de Souza is there, and his surfing is still very much like comp surfing, like free to the beach and things like that. And like Kauli Vaast, very, very much similar. Like he was a bit of a standout, but not style wise. He was standout because he caught a lot of waves and surfed them really cool. But then to me, like Noah Deane was really good to watch. Clay Marzo was sick. I really enjoyed watching Mikey Wright surf because he had like no limiter on. It was like he was going as big as he could, as fast as he could and stuff. But then also you had Sierra Kerr, like phenomenal. Maud Leclerc, Coco Ho surfed real good. Like Shimmy Disco, Dimity Stoyle went over the falls on a hell one and just like came up.
I think Coco was one of my full standouts. Just from I just followed the Instagram feed basically, which was still pretty good. And if you want to check that out, Autonauts, for people that didn't like catch up, they didn't have any podcast. They didn't have live, not podcast, webcast. But Coco got a couple of hell barrels and ripped the bag out of it. She's such a good surfer. I think she's top 5 in the world for surfing because she's a really good barrel rider.
I was about to say, the barrel riding was the standout with Coco. Out of all of the girls, she was by far the best in the barrel because like her read of it and like she was staying way higher on the wave and like she'd do a big pump but then be high on it to make it. Definitely. Like for me, Coco's barrel riding was like big standout compared to the other girls. Like Morden stuff was really good, but she was like more doing turns and again a bit compy. Same with Sierra, but yeah, Coco's barrel riding for sure. And if you want to watch anything on it, Quiksilver done massive shout out to Stace Galbraith actually, who I did meet on the beach, and he's a sick guy, really nice guy. But he done a thing called Baguette TV, which is really, really cool to watch. It gives you a really good like almost behind the scenes of the comp, which is really sick to watch as well. But yeah, it was the biggest thing is like obviously the glaring kind of thing about it as well is that what was it, only 10 days before, maybe 2 weeks before, Trestles was on, and you compare them and how the waves that they got in the Quiksilver event compared to the waves at Trestles just made me think like the WSL is just so fucked. Don't you think?
That's an interesting one, Matt, because if you put the WSL there, they wouldn't have been able to really manage doing like you were there. It was a free surfing comp, so it was a complete different. It wasn't necessarily a free surfing comp, but it was.
Yeah, but
was
fine,
nothing on
if
the
you was
line
running,
really, apart from having fun.
but
now,
if you're running
you would have
finals
to,
day,
you would have had you would have had to run 14 heats on men's and women's, full 4 full days, and out of those 4 full days, 50%
no. But what
of
about if?
surfers would have got the rough end of the stick. It's a shit fight running a comp in France, which is one of the things I understand. But
What about if it was finals day though?
Spectacular wise, there's no question, of course.
But what about finals day, where you don't have to run? It's a one and done, or
yeah, but
two
you got to
and
get to finals day. You got to get to finals day. They would have ran people on the Monday when it was 10 foot. I know it sounds like they've had good forecasts like this before. I don't think this is the first year they've had conditions like that. We've had this like
I'm saying
multiple years.
Not the finals. I'm saying the finals day. So instead of it being a 1 day event at Trestles, have a 1 day event in France.
Yeah. And even then they're going to say the same thing. Even then they're going to say, "Oh yeah, but he got that wave which was a 10, and I didn't get that wave that was a 10." It's more of a lucky dip, but you will find that in the history of Quickie Pro, if you look through the winners, I've said this before, Andy Irons, Mick Fanning, Joel Parker, Kelly Slater, John Florence, Gabriel Medina, there's the list is like that. There's no way in the world they'll ever do a finals day here, which they should. Maybe they will. Imagine. Maybe they will after this.
Well, there won't be next year because
Jeremy quoted saying he hates the Gravier the year or 2 years before he won it because you can paddle out there and not get anything.
But I do hope that Jeremy and the Quickie team and everybody bring it back next year because
of course they will, and I'm pushing for it with Eurosema. I'm actually going to try and push to get a few of the other brands on board, which I don't know if Quiksilver will want other brands to share the limelight, but I think if they were able to get, let's say they got Rip Curl, Billabong, Whistler, and then invited even a few other brands on board to do a festival next year, it could be incredible. So here's a good question that Christian Bradley sent me this afternoon. Is how many of the locals do you think got super pissed off that they didn't get invited? And he sent me a little list. And I'll just have a look at it.
Yeah, because there were a few.
And I said, who? He said, wait on, let's have a look. Christian doesn't mind being thrown under the bus, but there was a crew of locals who had their noses out of joint for not being invited, which happens everywhere. Same sort of thing in Hawaii and the Goldie. And I said, who? And he said, PB, Patrick Bevan, best mates with Jeremy and Mickey. Sancho ran jet ski, but he's like 40. Vincent Duvignac, I 100% would have invited him. Charlie Quiveron, I 100% would have invited him. But
Patrick Bevan was a
who
judge.
do you invite? Local crew, or do you invite the international crew that are going to give you more viewers and more social media cloud? I don't know how it works.
Well,
they had their own. Hey, when we finished, they had their own Instagram. I said that Quiksilver Festival, yeah. But I'm assuming each one of these riders as well would have been posting their own waves on that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it looks like most of them are posting after the fact because like they didn't have a webcast of someone like instantly giving them stuff. But in answer to Christian's question, Patrick Bevan was a judge.
That's what I said too. Was he? So was PV Labadee, who was ex-Rip Curl.
Yeah.
And Sancho was on jet ski duty.
Yeah, Sancho was on jet ski. Didier Pitter was a judge. Sam Pitter was in it, so he's a local.
Joan, he got a run because someone pulled out.
I believe, rumor has it, Michael February pulled out.
Yes, he did. Extra rumor.
Yeah.
Michael February pulled out because he had a dust up with his woman.
I don't know. But I do know another rumor that is not a rumor, it's true. But it's background.
That's a fact.
Insider knowledge that the WSL told everyone championship tour they can't. It's an unsanctioned event. You're not allowed to be in it.
Yeah.
Because
I understand
Leo is a local who would have wanted to be in it and would have made sense
he wouldn't
to be in it.
He was dropped by Quickie. You think he's going to come to a Quiksilver Festival thing, or you think he wanted to be in it?
I think he wanted. Think about it. If Leo's in it, dropped by Quickie, then he rocks up like to Jeremy Flores' thing and just absolutely runs it. It's his joint kind of thing. It
wasn't Quiksilver Europe that dropped him.
Yeah.
But Leo's doing Ericera, which started today.
Which is weird as well.
Last year.
I didn't think that they were allowed to do that.
And Joan Duru was invited, and he didn't do it either because he's in Ericera, which started today.
No, Joan done it. Joan was one of the standouts. He was real good.
Yeah, but are you sure? Did he do every heat?
He didn't do the Sunday. He didn't do the twin fin heat.
Which was not
Sorry,
Sunday.
Saturday, yesterday.
Oh, he left early. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wondered about that. So he did do it up until then.
yeah,
Because then
and
he's gone.
he was sick as well. His backside, like
Are
Nunes.
you talking Joan or are you talking Marc Lacomare?
No, Jean Duru. Marc Lacomare is real good as well. But yeah,
10.
no,
Perfect 10.
I met Joanne on the beach just on the Monday. He'd just snapped his board and he was running up the beach to get another one. And yeah, he's like he was impressive. How his backside surfing is just real good.
Well, him and Marc, that would be, they're the black shorts of here, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
What
And
about
Mark,
Mason Ho? What was he like?
oh yeah, so sick. I actually met him at Noah Deane's film premiere when I was walking in, and Byron, my dog, went running up to him, and Mace was like so sick. He was like really, really like friendly, polite, like just a normal guy. Like he just acted like a normal guy. I had to fucking keep my pants on, stop hyperventilating and stuff. But no, all
Get the
jokes
dog
aside,
off him. Hey,
yeah,
so what was Noah Deane's film thing like?
really good. So it was two. It was a premiere of his new film called Munch, but then they also showed his other one called I think it's called High Stakes, which has got Balaram Stack in it as well. And they were both really good. Like he is like tapped at how like fast and high he sends it. And what I noticed actually about being around the event as well as stuff is he doesn't come across like it, but he's a full frother. Like he was coming out of his heats, taking his rashi off, walking like 100 meters down the beach, and just go and surf in a like a different peak with Huey Vaughan, and then would come in, get his rashi back on, and go surf another heat. Like he's a full frother. But yeah,
I
his
noticed there was a full Volcom crew at this comp. Now,
yeah,
are we assuming this is part of the Authentic Brands Group brand partnership? Because Authentic Brands Group now own Quiksilver in the Board Riders Group, and they also own Volcom. So I'm sensing a conspiracy here of brand sharing, huh?
maybe
And I know Mason's Rip Curl, isn't he?
yeah. Mason's Rip Curl, but Coco's Volcom, and maybe she was just like come for the fun. Um, not sure. I was
So
thinking
basically, you never came down for a Quicksilver Pro, did you?
no, unfortunately not.
So this was kind of like a scaled down version of it, and that was like what it used to be when there was kind of like a small comp site before it kind of got completely
Ripped off. The other funny thing was last night we went to the closing party and I was driving back and I nearly ran over Victoria Vergara, which was quite funny. Um, yeah, but with the comp and everything if WSL comps are like that, um, I can't imagine. One of the big standout things that you could feel on the beach and stuff was you could feel how the surfers were like calling each other into waves and having fun. But obviously, WSL comps would be way more serious.
well,
So
have to be. This
yeah,
one doesn't
yeah,
have any stakes. That's the big difference.
nah, yeah, definitely not. But it was also cool, like seeing Jackson Dorian as well. Like seen quite a lot of him obviously on social media, but seeing him in person, he he can pack a tube for sure as well. So
Hey, so what did you think about Kid Boy Dorian?
Yeah, I thought he was good. Like,
I think he's older than what we think, isn't he? Because he's so short. How old is he?
he's Jay's age. He's 15, 14 or 15.
15 or 16?
Think he's
He's not old.
15.
He got like the wave of the day the other day.
Oh, he got absolutely lit up by the lip. Like, I think he wanted to find the dog. He got not confused. He got like stuck between trying to pull through the back of a massive one or to try and doggy door it out. And as he tried to come through the doggy door, he just got like full lip, like obliterated, but didn't seem to bother him.
And
He,
obviously a special mention, triple A plus to Jeremy Flores, who's just the
oh,
absolute tube maestro.
yeah, like, well, the thing is, it's not really fair because he's definitely got something in his board or in his body or somewhere that they just come to him when he's in the perfect spot every time. I know I'm joking around. That's just knowledge and time of spending time at a wave. But you'd see a heat beforehand, and you
Yeah,
like,
but there's people that just don't take off on those waves. Like
yeah,
you
exactly,
think the
yeah,
same thing about Kelly. And Jeremy had some serious health problems earlier in the year, and it even stated on Instagram that he was not going to surf heavy waves anymore. And like I'm looking at some of these things and going, like, are you kidding me?
mm,
Because like what you said, it is a similar stretch of water to like I went to the North Shore. The big difference is obviously there's no coral underneath, but the range of waves you get from Santosha to, let's say, Le Pennon, and I'm not necessarily inviting everyone to come down here, like, because, you can come to France like the three boys did the week before and you can get skunked more, like 9 times out of 10. And, but the range of waves you get, it's like a magic 7 miles or whatever. And like, just Jeremy just can get shacked left and right.
yeah,
Serious waves that you're thinking like already got to be able to paddle into them, and they're on like boards that are under 30 liters.
yeah. Well, that was the other cool thing is what like because it was really cool. Like you go stand on the water's edge and stuff, and if a surfer like walked past you, like Noah Deane walked past me, and he like started talking to me, and I was like, "Well, this is cool." Like on the Monday, he was on a
You
six
didn't
four.
ask him out for dinner or anything, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I kept it professional.
Had with you,
But
keep it.
yeah, he was on like a 6'4", which is it's not a big board, but it's not a small board. Like they make the boards look,
Good. That's the proper step up.
yeah. And like
Josh Kerr was on thicker album things, which kind of looked like a bit of a struggle for him, honestly, when you're looking at it. And he probably could have got away with, I don't know how, I guess he's paddling faster these days, but he's on the contract, so he would have had to ride them.
I think, well, when I spoke to him, like I think he would have wanted to ride him. It's weird. I thought he would have ridden maybe his insanity model, like or the insanity model, which is more of a normal board, rather than a twinny. But yeah, I spoke to him and he was riding on the big day as well. He was riding a stretched out twinsman, which is just it's like a twin fin with a round tail, quite a thick flat board. So fair play
Yeah,
to him.
you could tell, but also he's got an image to protect and to
Yeah.
enhance, and that does it. Really would have liked to see Michael February on that, because I did see a little clip of him
Yeah, he
on
was here for a day
Instagram,
and
and it
then
looked amazing.
yeah. I just want to say as well, actually, I reckon my standout surfer, I did say Clay Marzo, but Sam Pitter is
Oh, he's incredible, hey?
seriously good. Like again, super unassuming to look at. Like kind of looks like me with like if you chop my head off. Um he's a little bit shorter. But geez, that kid, like firstly, backside tube riding in serious juice, he's got it locked down. And then when I saw him on that twin fin, he just like just
Did you
it
see
just
that live?
the twinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was I caught like because I didn't bother going to the last day, or I wasn't going to go to the last day, and then I just like rocked up for the last hour, and it was like the second to last heat. Um, and him, yeah, he was like he just really surprised me. In a very very good way.
Person's grown up in, and I'm not going to compare him to John, but a lot of the good kids here that have grown up surfing waves like that, they're just really comfortable in waves like that.
Yeah,
And it only comes from exposure.
yeah, and he's should mention as well. He's junior European champ now, which is sick for him.
Get him on the potty.
Yeah,
Huh?
we'll get him on.
English is half decent. We'll
Also,
see how it goes.
it's good enough. I've had a conversation with him.
So you're going to give the week a triple A plus.
Oh, for sure. Like easily, like
Black run, diamond run, black
yeah,
diamond run.
9.5 out of 10.
Did you surf today?
Oh, yeah. I surfed
Fun?
3 times today,
Okay, I took the day off.
and I surfed twice yesterday.
I'd done 16 hours. I counted in 4 days, and I couldn't take it anymore. And
I
that happens everywhere in the world, by the way. I've read a story on this the other day where we're all, as surfers, you're all looking for swells, and so here's like, I'm going to get ahead of us quickly. So we get the time, because otherwise I'll forget it, because I've got Alzheimer's. On your do's and don'ts, and the biggest two is be ready for the swells wherever you live, and if you see one that you can get to by plane or a car, which is possible and feasible, that's what it's all about. Full stop. Surfing a swell. It's not surfing every day. Surfing every day is going to the gym, like training or whatever. It's just, that's what you surf. Marginal conditions or whatever, just so that you're ready for when there's a swell. And then when there's a swell, drop everything and do your best to get on it. That's my do. I can't, and I've got a don't coming, but I've got to think about it.
Okay. Well, I'll jump in. Like, I mean, I'd say from watching, I would say a do for me, for anyone who hasn't been to an event, like get yourself down to some world class surfing it just to be able to watch it, because watching it on a YouTube feed or your TV or anything's great, but watching it in person is next level. The speed is just a whole different ball game, and it's a bit like a football match. When you go to watch a football match, you get to see so much more of the intelligence of the players and their movements and what they do without the ball. Whereas when you're watching it on TV, you're generally following the ball. Same with this. Like I got to see professional surfers get like battered by a rip and have to battle it. You get to see people and like just how good they are, how fast they are. So I can't speak highly enough of going to an event. So that would be my do. My don't would be to like don't underestimate like the like what waves are like and rips and currents in places you don't know about. And if you're not sure of what you're doing, don't just be super lackadaisical with your care for yourself, because like here you could get into some serious trouble if you weren't careful. So don't be careless.
So you're trying to say basically Eddie should not go.
No, I think Eddie should go if Eddie's educated on it.
If Eddie's Eddie has to be ready to go.
Yeah. I've just seen a few people this week where like, like they're beginners or they've got like different boards and like nobody was out. It was like massive but onshore, and then you'd see them try and paddle out and get lit up. And
Hey, a
yeah,
dude nearly drowned at Estano the other day, and we were going to send out some of my crew into lessons, and we called it off
That was the
after
day
they were
that.
in the wetsuits.
That was the
That
day.
was the Sunday. That was the first part. That was
Yeah,
before the second swell. The
that was
Sunday,
the.
the long period swell. And the dude, I saw him, and he was in all sorts. He was all right, but like he'd just gone for a swim.
That was the day that
If you're not ocean savvy, don't go out.
Yeah,
And
that's,
I remembered my don't forget to screw your fin screws in. What do you call them?
grub screws.
Don't forget the. Hey, so like yesterday was what? Saturday. The swell. That was the day when the swell was supposed to drop, right?
Yeah,
Which
they
it
stayed
did.
about.
It did. But it was a new swell, if you notice. The other one sweltered out, and it went into a new swell because its direction changed, and the period dropped. So I'd taken my A3 out of the car, and I'd put my 7.3 in, thinking I was going to try and surf up the beach, and a couple of other boards as well. Bradley 20, wow, magic board. Anyway, I got to the beach. It was wonky, and we ran back to Lenore. And with the period and a massive low tide, it actually turned on like son. And I rode this 7.3 quad, which is a pretty brand new board. And disclaimer, one that I'd kind of half run over in the car park and then had to get the fin box fixed on it. And I surfed the whole surf. He's shaking his head, listeners. And I surfed the whole surf. The board just went amazing, like fucking insane. And I'd come in and I turned on like the day before I'd shattered the center fin box of my Bradley 9.0, and I was like, fuck, I just checked my fins, and I was like, oh, that screw's not properly in on one of the quads. And then I know 3 of them weren't properly in because I just got it back from the repairman, put the fins in, waxed it up, didn't screw them in. This is a do and don't. Don't forget to screw them in, and do screw them in. As soon as you put a fin in your board, screw it in.
Did you lose them or did they stay in?
None of them. Nothing. Board went insane.
So well,
I can get away with this. I can get away with this sort of freaky stuff, mate. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Leave me boards in the car park, whatever.
Fair enough.
Crazy gods are on us.
Yeah, but that's a wrap.
Thanks
That's a
for coming, listeners.
We'll get this
Give us
live.
a final recap, Mattis.
Pardon?
Give us a recap. What's coming up in our life?
We're gonna get we'll get Sam Pitter on. We'll get a couple more people on. We're gonna surf more. I think I might try and do the tarantula tomorrow, which is 5 surfs in a day, just for the sake of it. Because I've got nothing else to do. It's gonna be boiling. And other than that, tide coefficients are annoying me because there's massive tides at the moment. But we're all good.
And from people I know that are over 80 and have passed away and have gone to hospital, our fathers, people's grandfathers, if you're old enough and fit enough to surf.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.